Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Rick and Morty Season 4 just released a new trailer for its final 5 episodes, coming May 3rd. Assuming this isn't the cruelest April Fool's joke ever. I think we're good, by the way. Historically, Rick and Morty celebrates April Fools by doing nice things, like streaming its Season 3 premiere early, not by doing what everyone else does on the stupid non-holiday and lie. Look, even if I have to Rick-splain these episodes from goddamn quarantine, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Because these episodes are bringing back Tammy, Snowball, Evil Morty. I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by frame for all the visual clues and animation details for how these episodes will go down. Let's get started. Okay, the opening shot glides through an army of Ricks. Now, this location is actually the waste disposal portal in the Citadel, shown in the Season 3 Tales from the Citadel episode. It's where the 4 Stand By Me Mortys trek to throw in something of value to try to get a wish, but this portal wasn't a wishing portal, but a garbage dump. Notice on the right flank is a battalion of Meeseeks, last seen in the Season 4 premiere, used by the Akira Forbojulon crystals Morty to dispose of the cops. And on the left flank is some other alien race, looks a bit like male Gazorpians. This return to the Citadel almost certainly means a return of Evil Morty, current president of the Citadel. Perhaps here he is deploying this army on our Rick and Morty to stop them from threatening his power. Keep in mind that it's possible that our Rick and Morty doesn't know about Evil Morty's existence, or doesn't really care. Rick uses his Rickputer to initiate an unnecessarily badass suit up, causing he and Morty to suit up into Gundam or Voltron style armor suits with swords. The animation includes the anime crosshair lens flares, love it. They're fighting these deformed beings, all of which have these separate facehuggers latched onto their faces. Now the host beings have separate green eyes on stalks, pig noses. Actually, this was the race of beings that we saw in the Season 4 intro sequence, the shot with a giant naked Morty rising from the water. And these were the same race as the turrets from the resort with the immortality field in the Whirly-Durly conspiracy episode.
Lisa?
Now these folks have face huggers over their mouths and wrapped around their heads. It seems like a take on the alien xenomorph face huggers who latch onto the hosts a similar way, but rather than using the host as a dormant incubator in which to implant a chest burster, these face huggers control their host's motor functions. Rick and Morty are slaying, as they always do, Queen. These things in an attempt to locate and rescue Summer, who has comfortably settled in as a ruler. Now, in a different part of this episode, Rick tries to get Morty to use one of these dead face huggers as a disguise after it was already on his face, though it's not fully dead.
Okay, now it's dead.
Next, we see Rick drinking a potion that allows him to grow some extra arms. The facehuggers cover Rick's ship, and then Rick straddles a giant direwolf in a snow-covered world. Behind them are statues of armored wolves standing upright. Or if you remember earlier this season, Claw and Hoarder Special Rickdoms Morty poked some fun at Game of Thrones by depicting dragons as these indulgent, horny sex beings. Maybe now we're seeing another example of sexualized Game of Thrones animals. Or maybe this is the new canine world that Snowball mentioned heading off to establish.
We will go to a new world and colonize it with a society of intelligent dogs. One that will not make the same mistakes as humanity, and one where pet insurance will be mandatory.
Then there's a real crazy shot of Morty floating in a trance state as like ghostly projections of his mutilated body are sucking back into him. Now his glazed over eyes look like his Tetsuo self in the season premiere. Maybe we're seeing Morty's various bloody fates from the shards of the Forbojulon crystals collapsing in on themselves in one reality. To be honest, I don't really know what that sentence means. Rick tells Morty that if anything goes wrong, which it won't,
jump into the same vat of acid I jump into.
Okay, wait, what?
And we actually see Morty and Rick doing this later in the trailer. Maybe it's a nod to the Joker's classic origin of falling into a vat of ace chemicals, and his partner in crime, Harley Quinn, doing the same, with Rick and Morty having a similar toxic partnership. And we see how Rick's ship has a drop-down rotating gunner seat, like the gunner pods of the Millennium Falcon. And of course, the animators remembered to include the microverse battery in the engine. Now look at the surface of the sky above here. It's kind of porous, organic looking, like a cave or some kind of crust. I wonder if all of this sticky golden goo covering the buildings could be the honey of Jerry's own honey bottle that shows up later in the trailer. Like maybe we're seeing Rick and Morty take out some bacterial or viral infection that has grown inside Jerry's stupid honey. And then there's the return of Morty's super smart dog from season 1, Snowball, originally named Snuffles, but he changed his name to Snowball because his fur is pretty and white, but he still lets Morty call him Snuffles. He's in his robotic suit in his fight with a super smart cat. Luckily, his laser destroys his cat's cockpit, blowing it to a bloody carcass. Could this super smart cat be connected to the mysterious talking cat from earlier this season? The one voiced by Matthew Broderick? The one I theories could be a sexual predator based on Jerry's horrified reaction matching the horrified reaction of Mr. Jellybean in that episode. If so, that cat and every cat like it deserves to burn in hell. Rick and Morty get swatted, Jerry flies through a tunnel, and naked Morty runs from a few Ricks. Morty seems like he just respawned from that pod, suggesting it could be Rick's clone respawn chamber, and that golden goo could be connected to the other possibly honey location we saw But then big return here, Tammy. Ugh. She's in a lightsaber duel with Summer. We last saw Tammy on her wedding day with Bird Person, revealing herself as a Federation agent and betraying everyone. Rick rained hell on the Federation headquarters and the Citadel in his escape from Federation custody in the season 3 premiere. Here, Tammy's uniform has the Federation logo, suggesting that the Federation survived in some form. And behind them is that statue of Snowball that we saw in his kingdom in season 1, suggesting this battle could be connected to the battle that Snowball was in. Maybe the Federation has aligned itself with evil, super smart, sexual predator cats. It would be just like them to do that. Ultimately, I think we can all agree Tammy just needs to be done in by the return of Phoenix Person. Rick and Morty get beaten up by this jacked old dude. Another image that we saw in the season 4 opening credits, meaning that this is going to be an actual episode. And then Jerry, eating some pancakes with his Jerry's own honey, defends himself.
I have dreams.
And how's Summer?
Now, is this Real Beth or Clone Beth? Remember, at the end of season 3, it wasn't really sure which Beth we were going with from there forward. I'm thinking here, this is Real Beth coming back because Clone Beth would never be this non-confrontational with Jerry. And it kind of sounds like Beth has just returned from whatever trip she was on and now she's checking in on everyone. The trailer ends with Morty and Rick in Gundam armor piling up these hosts.
I got caught up again. God, do I need to take more Adderall or am I taking too much Adderall?
Yeah, that's the trouble with Adderall. You never really know where you're at in the journey. Which of these episodes seem most interesting to you? Comment down below, and if you're new to this channel, reminder to subscribe because we go all out whenever Rick and Morty is in season, breaking down all the hidden animation jokes each episode, along with our after show Rick'splained, where we sit down with special guests from the show. And who knows, we might also try to do some live watch-alongs of each episode on our Discord channel, which you can access by becoming a patron at patreon.com/newrockstars. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Thanks for watching. Bye.